Welcome to the class on corticosteroids. The adrenal cortex secretes steroidal hormones which have glucocorticoid, mineralocorticoid, and weakly androgenic activities. Conventionally, the term corticosteroid or corticoid includes natural gluco and mineralocorticoids and their synthetic analogues. By the middle of 19th century, it was demonstrated that adrenal glands were essential for life. Later, it was appreciated that the cortex was more important than the medulla. A number of steroidal active principles were isolated and their chemical structures were elucidated by Kendall and his co-workers in the 1930s. However, the gate to their great opportunity or great therapeutic potential was opened by Hench in 1949, who obtained striking relief in rheumatoid arthritis by using cortisone. The Nobel Prize was awarded the very next year to Kendall, Richstein, and Hench. Biosynthesis of corticosteroids. The corticoids, both gluco and mineralocorticoids, are 21 carbon compounds having cyclopentanoperhydrophenanthine nucleus, that is called as steroid nucleus. They are synthesized in the adrenal cortical cells from cholesterol. A simplified version of the biosynthetic pathway is discussed now. Cholesterol gets converted into pregnenolone, and this will in turn get converted into progesterone, and then next to 11-desoxycorticosterone, and then this will get further converted into corticosterone, and this will get into aldosterone. This pregnenolone can also enter into the another pathway, that is pregnenolone to 17-alpha hydroxypregnenolone, and this will get converted into 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone and 11-desoxyhydrocortisone, and then this can get converted into hydrocortisone. Then 17-alpha hydroxypregnenolone can further get converted into dehydroepiandrosterone, and this can get converted into androstenedione. Even all 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone can also get converted into androstenedione. This will next further get converted into testosterone. So basically, the end products are aldosterone, hydrocortisone, and testosterone. All these are derived from cholesterol and pregnenolone. Adrenal steroidogenesis takes place under the influence of adrenal cortical ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH, which makes more cholesterol available for conversion to pregnenolone and induces steroidogenic enzymes. Since adrenal cortical cells store only minute quantities of the hormone, rate of release is governed by the rate of biosynthesis. The circulating corticosteroids inhibit ACTH release from pituitary as well as CRH production from hypothalamus, and thus provides negative feedback regulation of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. The normal rate of secretion of the two principal corticoids in man is hydrocortisone 10 to 20 mg per day. Nearly half of this is released in the first few hours of the morning. And then aldosterone again 0.125 mg per day. This is the another one. which is released every day. Actions of the corticosteroids. Before that, we'll try to address the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. This is mainly responsible for the regulation of corticosteroid production and response to stress, which overrides the negative feedback regulation of the ACTH release. Whenever there is a stress, then higher centers get activated, and this will lead to activation of hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will release CRF, corticotrophic releasing hormone. Then this will stimulate the anterior pituitary gland, that is basophils. This will release adrenocorticotrophic hormone ACTH, and this will activate the angiotensinogen. Then this will get converted into angiotensin 2 and then angiotensin 1 and 2. So this ACTH, it will come and act on cortex, and this will release the adrenaline. Okay, this will release the adrenaline, and here you have three layers, that is glomerulosa, fasciculata and reticularis. Glomerulosa will release aldosterone, fasciculata releases hydrocortisone, and reticularis releases dehydroepiandrosterone. And these will go and affect the distal convoluted tubule, and it will cause the sodium and water retention. And this will definitely help in the treatment of hypovolemia and also sodium depletion situations. And this juxtaglomerular apparatus also at the same time releases the renin, and this will convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, and this will further get converted into angiotensin 2, and this will help in again act on the cortex, and this will help in the release of the aldosterone, hydrocortisone and dehydroepiandrosterone. And here these three, that is aldosterone, hydrocortisone and dehydroepiandrosterone, they will have the feedback mechanism on the anterior pituitary and also hypothalamus. They will go and inhibit the release of the ACTH. So in that way, whenever there is a rise in the aldosterone and hydrocortisone and dehydroepiandrosterone, so they will have the feedback mechanism and reduce the release of these compounds. Now we will discuss on the actions of the corticosteroids. So just a few minutes, I will come back.